What's going on, guys? This is Black Scout Survival, and you're probably wondering, who the hell is this guy? Well, my name is Jay, and I'm the second half of Black Scout Survival. I'm the guy behind the camera, usually doing most of the filming, editing, graphic design, and everything that you guys see on YouTube. But we've had a lot of questions in regards to what equipment do we use, what kind of cameras do we use, etc. So I want to touch a little bit today on what we're actually using as far as cameras and various auxiliary equipment, and then we can maybe expand on that in a later date. So without further ado, I'd like to talk about some of the cameras that we first started with a long time ago. We started originally with this dude here, the Canon T2i, which still takes phenomenal pictures, really good 1080p video. It's just overall a really good camera. You can probably get them off of eBay pretty cheap. So for those of you who are looking to start doing some of that, it's a good option for you. So then we moved to more of an autofocus function camera, which is the 70D. So we moved to this camera here, and it worked pretty well for us. Sometimes it would miss a lot of the autofocus. The Canon 5D Mark IV that's come out just recently, a couple weeks ago, is phenomenal in autofocus, and we will probably be adding that to our arsenal very soon. But as it stands right now, that's another good option for you if you've got a lot of Canon glass. Try looking at a 70D. Then we progressed to the camera that I'm being filmed on right now, to the GH4. We wanted something that we could color a little bit better. The GH4 has an option for a V-log pattern that you can actually put on it, and then you can color it a little bit better. It's a profile. So we wanted to add something different to our arsenal. We wanted to actually go smaller. So we did the GH4, and then we added the G7. So the G7, so basically we're going concise, and I know I just said we're probably adding the 5D Mark IV, which is a much bigger camera, but some of the things coming out of that camera is just insane. But what we did was we wanted to go smaller so that we can travel a little bit better and take these cameras in different areas. So we added that, we added the GH4, so now we've got the G7 and GH4 filming in micro four thirds, which is mirrorless versus a mirrored camera like the T2i and the 70D. So we feel much better because we had to go to 4K, and a lot of the mirrored cameras in the Canon line, the Nikon line, Nikon line as some people call it, they did not have good 4K lenses. So with the Canons, we actually had the 24-105 lens, which is a staple. Everyone's probably got that if they've got a Canon. The nifty 50, I know everyone's got this one, the 50mm, and it's a 1.8. And then we've got the 55-250, which is a 4-5.6, more of a telephoto lens if we've got to do multi-camera setups and we need to zoom in a little bit better. And then as we progress to the mirrorless micro four thirds, we actually added some of these lenses. These are obviously a little bit smaller, a little bit easier to carry, a little bit easier to put on a carry-on. So we've got the 30mm 2.8 here. And then probably the sharpest lens that's actually in the micro four thirds lineup ever is a 45mm 1.8 prime lens. So the difference, I guess, between a prime and an adjustable is where you can adjust length, focal length. You can't do that on a prime lens. It's just one length, so you actually have to move towards your subject to do that. The benefit of that is these are going to be tremendously more sharper than an adjustable lens that you can use. So probably 2 times as sharp. So if you're looking for sharpness, go with prime lens, but keep in mind you won't be able to do some of the ins and outs of the filming that you're trying to do. Moving on, so then of course you've got your cameras, you've got to have your lenses, and you've also got to have audio. If your audio is terrible, then no one's going to watch your videos. So you definitely got to have really good, clean audio. Currently what we're using right now is a Sennheiser, and it's a EW100 G3 Sennheiser. and we're really happy with this adding to our arsenal. We love them. It's very clean. We don't have a lot of interference. So it's probably the best wireless. I mean, it is. It's the staple. It's the wireless setup that's probably the best on the market. What we had before, and what we also keep for multi-shoots where we have other people, is the Asden Pro, Pro XD. And we found that it's getting a lot of pops, and you guys have probably heard some of that in the past. So we've actually kind of moved to the Sennheisers just because of that. We've also got some other external mics. This is the Rode Video Micro, which goes on our DJI Osmo. I'll talk about stabilizing here in a second. And then you got the Rode Video Mic, which is also more of a shotgun type that you can add. These are what they call dead cats. It prevents any kind of wind interference. For those of you who are just starting out, you definitely need a dead cat. We used to actually go external with this. If you guys are just starting out, this is called an H1, and this one is $100. You can get it brand new. Phenomenal audio quality. You can actually attach an external mic to it as well, but you're going to have to match the audio to the video in post. And for those of you who don't know, that's why you see people with the clapper, or you can clap to signify, and you'll see a spike in your audio and be able to match your audio to where the hands come together, and therefore you've kind of matched them. So that's a little tip for those of you starting out. So stabilization. So people don't want to see jittery camera angles either. You definitely got to have stabilizers. So what we'd have is for our Micro Four Thirds cameras is the Nebula 4000 is what we use. And that's for when I go behind Jack and do some of the shots that you're wondering that are real slick, and he's going through the woods and we're doing various things. That's what we use. Now we've also added an external, which basically has its own camera in it, which is the Osmo, the DJI Osmo. I'm sure you guys have seen this. This is a phenomenal camera. It can run in 4K, and it's already stabilized. A lot of you guys could probably just do your whole videos with this, because you can basically mount this to a tripod and just use it as your regular camera, because it does have a great camera inside it. DJI has been putting out great products. We actually have a drone from DJI as well, and we're actually looking at the Ronin M, which is also a stabilizer put out by DJI. So they've been putting out some really good products lately. And then of course all the auxiliary things that you need. You need light. Cameras don't like to film in the dark, so you always need light. And we've got various lights around me right now, which are the newer CN 160s. You can get those on Amazon for 25 bucks. They're really cheap. 160 LEDs to put out really great light. They've got filters in them that you can filter in different kelvins in the different lightings that you like. 5500 is probably what most people shoot, but you can shoot in a daylight light or a fluorescent light. So those are really easy to use. But what we use to monitor our light and to see that we're in the correct exposure is the Sekonic. Now, some of you are probably saying, well, some of your exposures, Jay, have been blown in the past. Well, most of what we film, I'd say 80%, 90% of what we film is outside. So you can't control what the sun does and the clouds and everything. So we do sometimes try to do our best to kind of make sure exposure is right where we need it, but sometimes we miss it. So we try to use this light meter. It's a Sekonic L308S to kind of verify that and check behind it. Light stands are also what you're going to need. You're going to need various things like these fittings here, these adapters. If you've got different camera sizes where you might have a Micro Four Thirds and you've got a call it a Canon glass or a full size or APS-C sensor, you need to modify that. So you want to put this glass on this unit, you're going to need an adapter. Metabones makes a really good adapter to do that. So if you've got a bunch of different glass, you want different shots, and you've got different cameras, you know, your options are pretty much there. So as far as, we've got a lot of other different things. We've got a drone that we use for aerial shots. We've got a bunch of other things that we're actually looking at purchasing, just to kind of give you guys the best product that we can. So please leave a comment or any suggestions on how we can make Black Scout a little bit better for you guys. We try to put out the best product we can for you guys and teach you everything you need to know about survival, reviews, etc. So please let us know how we're doing, and thanks for watching Black Scout Survival.